Welcome back, guys, to Mrs. Mayo's in-home art studio. This week is Earth Day. So this unit is going to be celebrating Mother Earth. We are going to begin by creating a recycled object earth collage with a positive message about how we can conserve and help our earth. So to start, you're going to go on an object hunt. You are going to look for two different varieties of things. The first is anything you can trace to make a circle. It could be a container that you're repurposing. You know Mrs. Mayo's really into recycling, and that is our big idea today with our earth collage. So these are not quite the circle I'm looking for. I'm looking for something a little bit bigger. So I'm opting for a dessert plate or the plates my kids use to trace my circle. So that's the first hunt you're going to go on. Parent permission is always necessary. Don't use a plate that you're not supposed to use. Make sure you check with your parents first. The second thing, our earth is mostly blue for our water. Our ocean is everything here in South Kingstown. So you certainly want to find some of those beautiful blues on your object hunt. Now these objects are papers that are recycled things. So you're going to see in my slideshow some printables that I found, teacher resources to look at shapes. But right now, as an artist, I want you to search for color. You're going to search for different blues and different greens. I already went on my hunt. I found a lot of projects my children created that I'm going to repurpose that are blues and greens. I found an old envelope that I'm going to repurpose. I found some seeds, a seed packet. I've been gardening quite a bit the past few weeks. And I'm going to take my mint seeds out and use that wrapper. I like the look of that. And more art papers and projects here. The other thing I'm going to use is in my neighborhood in Cranston, I shop at Dave's all the time. So I want to give a big shout out to Dave's because they've been epically awesome during this time. But I also noticed flipping through a lot of greens, so, and some blues too. And then I had on hand still left over from a couple weeks ago one of these cardboard boxes I'm going to cut up. So those are my objects. Go hunting, friends. All right, guys, so hopefully you've gathered some really great varieties of circles and of recycled materials to create your collage. You heard me right, collage. The word collage is French for glue. So you are going to have to cut and glue. If you don't have access to scissors, you can always tear. And if you don't have access to glue, you can always use glue sticks or tape, or I will even put up in the slideshow a recipe for homemade glue, which if you're gluten-free, it could be a problem, but it's pretty much flour and water. So that is what we're going to do. So the first step is going to be to decide how large you would like your earth to be. So as I shared with you, I'm going to use a plate and I am going to trace it. Now, I'm going to hop right into marker, but please always know, I think it's always a great idea to start with pencil. That is so if you do make a mistake, you can rework. Now you're not going to want to use Sharpie on one of your parents' plates like I just did. Now, I'm not like every mother, and art projects kind of trump everything else in our house, but don't trace around a plate with the Sharpie, guys. Use the pencil and then go over it. So I have my circle here. Now I'm going to take a moment to really look at the earth. So this is going to change a little because this is the 360 stretched out globe. But I'm going to try. Obviously, I'm not going to take the time to do all these details, but and you certainly can label yours, but you would want to do that after you collage over. So this is a fun activity to celebrate our earth. We're not going to get concerned about making a perfect map, and my third graders should have some experience from our Australia unit, right? Man, you really can see the Pangea when you see it like this. It's really incredible. One theory is that all these continents were once combined to make one large piece of land, and that's called Pangea. Anyway, all the way, up and around. You could do your islands. I just did our neighbor Canada. I don't know if I did New England justice, but that's all right. I don't want to forget these awesome islands down here. They need all the love. So feel free to look up one that has everything. This just has our continents and oceans labeled. It would take a very long time to do much more than that. Look how big Antarctica is. Wow. So I'm noticing I'm not going to have room for Australia. I feel good about that because we spent so much time drawing that in the winter. So I'm going to hop right into Africa, which I notice comes up above South America. And again, I'm making mistakes. We all always do. And if, like I'm noticing I didn't make it quite large enough, that's okay because we're going to create that collage and that's going to go right over that. So no stress. We're going to totally cover up so much of this that those mistakes are really, really not even going to be too noticeable. So fear not, my friends. All right. That is looking pretty good. So I know these are the oceans. So these are going to be my blues and these are my land masses and they're going to be different greens. And I may even leave some of Antarctica white because it's Antarctica. And I hope we can get a grip of our earth and start to take care so that ice isn't all gone. So I'm going to begin because they're the largest areas with the ocean. So I'm going to disregard my greens for now and put them aside. And I'm going to really start with those blues. Now I really like this color. It's kind of a turquoise color. And I really like the organic look of torn paper. So that is what I am going to do. And you're going to kind of begin by making a plan. You don't want to go right in and put the glue on. You want to artists make a plan. And I'm going to look first and then leap and sort of see where. And I kind of want to do my edge here because I'm not going to cut my earth out and put it on another paper. You certainly could do that. I'm not. So, your choice. It would look really great if you have access to other like colors or recycled objects. It would look really cool attached to something else recycled, like a poster or something. I don't know. Floral print, just really thinking out loud here. So again, this is called a collage. And a collage does not just have to be paper. You certainly could come up with other objects that aren't just paper to add. You certainly could do plant clippings and use that for your green. George Braque and Pablo Picasso really made this famous. They get the credit for creating it, although I'm not convinced that's probably the truth. They get a lot of credit for a lot of things. Anyway, but Pablo Picasso and George Braque really made collage famous and honored as an actual form of art making. And they used all sorts of things, the backs of chairs, fabric strips, pencil shavings. So you certainly could be totally creative. I am going to push you to try to use recycled objects, but totally whatever you can find. I didn't want to use, like, I have a lot of paper. So I didn't go into my paper stash. I went on a hunt for things that would maybe go in the garbage and pulled all of that and repurposed it to save our landfill and make art with a message about Earth Day. How great is that? So you're gonna just keep cutting or ripping like I am to fill in these blues. So I'm gonna do the blues first and I'm gonna pause here. I don't want you to have to watch me do the whole thing, but you will see as I'm working along and then I will show you how I'm gonna start to do the greens over it. All right, guys, so I'm still filling in some areas with my oceans, but I'm really loving where it is. So now I'm going to start to fill in my continents here. Antarctica I might keep white. I haven't decided yet. So I'm going to hop into Africa. And I really like the texture of my, I think my son did this one. I really am looking for that, like specific textures. So I'm going to do less
small pieces like I did there and try to kind of do like just a couple for each continent, but let's see what works for you. And again, I'm really enjoying the torn edge of this. I really think it gives it a really organic, natural feel like our earth. And I really, really am loving the different qualities I'm getting with my recycled objects. So, not quite there. And again, it's not meant to be perfect by any stretch, but you want it to look like the continents. So you certainly could draw it first and trace it, and I'm happy with that. So I'm gonna start with that. And you certainly don't have to just make it blue and green. You could use your imagination. I have a map in my art office / nursery that has all pinks and grays. So really, it's totally your artist choice. Like I love to say to you guys all the time, I honor that so much. And I think that's really important, that it's your voice and your color palette. And you can make a rainbow for Earth Day. You could really do whatever feels right to you. I really am enjoying using my children's artwork because, you know, they're everything to me, but also they're our future. So I would love to use some of yours that don't get claimed if I had access to them, but I don't right now. So you can see I'm going through. You could outline, these are collages, so they're meant to be layered, and I may work over this with markers and oil pastels, but you don't have to. Whatever feels right to you. And I kind of, when I was working, I did one paper at a time, and then I went back to it depending on what felt right, but layered over and under, weaved them into each other. But again, that was just my process. There's no right or wrong for this. I really am enjoying tearing the paper too. I think with all these things going on, there's something really cathartic or really great about tearing something. It's definitely just like the Zentangles. It's a stress relief, I think, for me. So I'm going to come over here now to my North and Central America and pop that on there. And again, you're going to see, remember I told you not to stress about your drawings. I'm going out of them a lot. So I really think it's a great idea with an oil pastel or a chubby crayon or a marker after to outline your continents, so you can really see them if that matters to you. Again, certainly don't need to. All right, guys, so I'm still working on it, but I'm gonna wrap it up in just a few minutes, and I wanted to share with you what I have so far. So I have collaged most of my continents and most of my oceans, and now what I would like you to do to celebrate Earth Day is try to find a quote that inspires you to incorporate around your collage. Now, if you don't feel comfortable doing this, write this on a separate piece of paper if you like your collage the way it is. One of my current favorite humans is a girl named Greta Thunberg. And this is the quote I've selected to incorporate into my collage, which is, "No one is too small to make a difference." So I'm going to write that on here. I'm going to write Earth Day 2020. Let's all stay home together and enjoy celebrating our Earth by making a recycled object collage. I hope you guys really, really enjoy doing this. I'm going to write my quote on there right now, and have fun. Be well. Be safe.